Welcome back to the Unlock Your Retirement Radio program. First of all, we're going to offer our free ebook to you. It is unlockfreebook.com, and that'll get you your own copy of Unlock Your Retirement, Unleashing the Hidden Potential in Your Retirement Wealth, where we showcase a number of enhanced planning strategies that are not the traditional or typical solutions that are shown to you by most financial advisors or brokers in the investment world, the banking world, the insurance world, or even some of the governmental programs. Today we're talking about the importance of, or the value of, having a second opinion on your retirement finances. And for that, we have a special ebook for you, which is, if you visit unlock9.com, unlock9.com, you can get the free second opinion ebook and see our second opinion video on that website, again, at no cost to you. So we've talked about in the first segments, we covered areas of risk management. We've talked about bear markets. We've talked about a lot of different things. But, you know, the whole idea of having a second opinion is very much like, if you have a serious health issue or, your things that involve a lot of money, like building a house or home improvements, things like that. And you'll find that a second opinion, can I get more value out of what I'm doing? Is there a better, smoother, more durable solution to what we're trying to accomplish? And I don't think there's any area for most people, their single biggest financial element is their retirement. So with that, we're going to embark on the next topic, which is taxes. And this is not a favorite subject of most people. Most people find taxes to be tedious at best. It's something that there's not a deep understanding, and that's not just on the side of the consumer side of the fence, but in a lot of areas it's that way on the advisor side of the fence. It's really tragic when you think about it that an entire industry, the financial industry, regardless of whether you're working with a Wall Street broker or whether you're working with an advisor who's an insurance agent, or somebody in the banking world, or even the governmental programs, they all have told you about the power of tax-deferred investing, tax deferment for your retirement, the idea of paying taxes later. So did you receive tax advice when you opened that IRA account, that 401k account, that 403b if you're an educator or you work in a hospital? Absolutely. It was basically, we're going to take this money out of your paycheck, before taxes. And that sounds great, but it's not tax-free. It's basically, you're going to pay those taxes. There will be a day of reckoning. And, nobody ever says, what's the price tag for that? When you try to get answers, a lot of times they'll point to the disclaimer that's on the bottom of your investment statements or your e-statements or their website. And it very clearly says, we do not provide tax advice. And that's, so you gave me tax advice and said, defer my taxes. That sounded great. But now when I really need to have a strategy, how do I get these taxes paid? You're telling me you don't do that. Then they give you a warning. They say, but seek competent professional advice before making any transactions. And that should be a giant red flag if you're out there listening to the program, because that's telling you there's more than one way to accomplish the goal of how you will pay taxes in retirement. And if you do it wrong, it could unnecessarily cost you a significant amount of money, monies that otherwise you could have kept. It could have stayed in your portfolio, stayed there working for you and your family, not gone to the government. And we have people all the time that meet with us that schedule a discovery call. We talk through it, and they're like, I don't have any forward-looking tax management. I have no strategies like that. Do you really do that? Is that something you can provide to us? And in many cases, we find that can be even more valuable than the return that they're looking at on their investments over their retirement lifetime. So this could be a significant benefit. So it becomes a very focal point when you talk about having a second opinion on your finances. I think it starts with the very big general question, which is, should I have a tax strategy for retirement? So Chris, what basically you want to minimize the impact of taxes. I think most people like to keep the money in their account instead of giving it to Uncle Sam. But, is this something that's really that significant, really that valuable?
It's amazing for an industry that when the money's coming out, they don't provide tax advice. But taxes they're woven in everything we do. I don't know how you can talk to someone about their finances and not talk about the impact of taxes, and how to minimize those throughout the rest of their lifetime. So a second opinion, it can give you insight into a multitude of ways to help minimize that impact of taxes. If you're in that part of retirement where you need to access your accounts for income, there's a lazy way of just saying we're going to take it from here and that's going to be it. Or you can a second opinion can help you structure, how much is coming from your tax deferred accounts or your taxable accounts, your joint accounts, things like that you've saved money on. And even if you were, had the forethought to have some tax-free money set aside, how does that incorporate into your withdrawal strategy? But if you have extra shekels in the pile, that there might be some other strategies there to help reduce future taxes. A second opinion might help you set up a Roth conversion strategy. Let's get those taxes paid while we're looking at, the current tax rates and we know what they are. And what does that do to your future required distributions and the taxes you're going to pay down the road, and other strategies you can use to help avoid taxes or pay them, at a lower rate. So that's all woven into your retirement planning, and minimizing that. I think we saw there was a study done a while ago that the taxes are the number one cost for most retirees. So by minimizing those long term, you're going to be able to keep more of that money for you and your family to build a successful retirement.
Yeah, and if you're watching this as our video podcast or video on YouTube, you may have noticed that young Bruce stepped out. But this particular area, I mean, Chris and I are both advisors with the Ed Slott Group, which is IRAhelp.com, by the way. And you can even go on there and look. If you're looking for an advisor, you'll probably see our smiling faces there. But Chris has been doing this program now for several years. He is an elite advisor with the Ed Slott Group. I'm a master elite advisor. I've been doing it more years than I care to admit. But basically this helps fill in that hole. I mean, we're fiduciaries in that we will always put your interests ahead of our own as we're designing and reviewing and evaluating different things. But, to be fair, just because you're a fiduciary doesn't mean that you cover all the bases or you have a depth of knowledge in all areas. And I think the area I found out after being a broker for about 12 years, when I got hard into the investment advisory, into the fiduciary side of the business, I realized that my shortcoming was probably in the area of taxes. And the education, the ongoing professional education, knowledge, the tools, the technologies, everything, to be able to assess, looking into the future, not just projecting, here's the value of your expected value or projected value of your portfolio based on rate of return, but to be able to say, okay, this is what the tax bill is projected to look like when we take into account the taxes on your retirement income, the taxes on mandatory required minimum distributions, even if you don't need the money, the taxes on your Social Security, the taxes that'll be the responsibility, usually a higher tax rate, for a surviving spouse once one of the spouses passes away. And then, of course, the wealth transfer, which we're going to talk about in the next segment, to your heirs, the tax bill there. So when Chris talks about the weaving of taxes throughout your retirement, this is what the government has learned. They don't want to have high tax rates that are just absolutely ridiculous. What they have found is a way to accomplish the same thing by having layers of taxes. So we have our Social Security taxes, our income taxes, our RMD generated taxes, and all of these things add up, and they are significant drains. They are costs that you must understand the cost of. Especially if your primary question is, am I going to outlive my money? The only way to know if you're truly going to outlive your money is how much money will be available for you after you have money available to pay Uncle Sam, because you said I will pay taxes later, and now is later. On average, we've done easily over $500 million of assets that we've done tax planning on in the last several years. The surprise is that without putting you into elevated tax brackets, if you look at the amount you have in your retirement accounts now, add them up, and you're 55, 60, 65 years old, that wealth level, whether you have $500,000, $1 million, $1.5 million, $2 million, or whatever, that's pretty much the number you'll find. If you live to age 90, that's what will be paid out in taxes. If you have $1 million today, it's a good, reasonable, with no tax planning, that you'll probably pay $1 million over your retirement lifetime out to age 90 to Uncle Sam with no planning. We find that we're able to reduce that number by 30 to 40% in most cases. So, that's a $300,000 to $400,000 savings of monies that would otherwise unnecessarily go to Uncle Sam that you're able to keep in your portfolio, keep growing in your portfolio, have available extra. That's, instead of it being in Uncle Sam's pocket, it's in your account, that if you need it to offset inflation, if you need it to offset a long-term care medical cost, things like that. Is the money better in your account or Uncle Sam's account? You make that choice, but you can plan for that. And in doing that, if the plan you have now without a second opinion evaluation isn't including a tax management strategy, you have a second opinion on your portfolio, and that includes a tax management strategy, and you're able to identify an additional $200,000 or $300,000 that would have been forfeited to Uncle Sam unnecessarily, that could be kept in your portfolio with a smart tax strategy. Wouldn't you want to know about that? That's why you should look at a second opinion. And to do that, you can give us a call at the WealthKare Investment Center. Our team of elite advisors, Bruce, Chris, and myself, we're going to look at the situation, but it starts with a 20-minute complimentary free discovery call, no obligation, no sales pressure, no nothing. And that's 888-888-5601, or you can visit discoverunlock.com, and it'll take you right into the scheduling platform that you can schedule your 20-minute complimentary discovery call to start the conversation and see if an advanced forward-looking tax strategy could be helpful to you and your family for your needs. Today on the program, we have a couple of free ebooks for you. We're talking about the value of having a second opinion on your retirement finances, and you can get that free ebook for the second opinion book at unlock9.com. That's unlock9.com. And as always, we encourage you to also download a copy of our ebook. It's a 47-page, a very informative ebook on the idea of enhanced planning strategies that are not typical of most retirement planning platforms, and that is unlockfreebook.com. So unlockfreebook.com, visit that, get your copy of Unlock Your Retirement. Unlock9.com is going to get you the second opinion, and Discovery Unlock, you can schedule that 20-minute complimentary discovery call, or again, give us a call at 888-888-5601. Again, that's 888-888-5601. Get on the schedule today, because it is that time of the year, and the closer we get to the election, the busier we're getting. So make your call today or visit discoverunlock.com. When we come back on Unlock Your Retirement, we're going to be talking about legacy planning. We do everything right, and we want to make sure we give you that lifestyle you're looking for. But, what about the residue of money, first of all, that's left over and given and providing for the needs of your spouse? And then if something happens, when something has happened to both of you and you're handing that money off to your family, how much will go to Uncle Sam and how much will actually go to your chosen family members? Very important. We're going to be talking about that when we come back on Unlock Your Retirement, the Unlock Your Retirement program. Thanks again for listening.
And now the moment our lawyer lives for.
Fee-based financial planning and advisory services are provided by WealthKare.com, Inc., an investment advisor based in Pennsylvania. Use of the term tax-free refers to federal income tax treatment only and may not apply to state, local, or specialized taxes. The impact of taxes varies by individual or family and should be considered before any transaction. Case studies are based on hypothetical scenarios, not actual clients, and do not guarantee specific results. All recommendations are tailored to the client's unique data. WealthKare and Bruce Smith are not affiliated with or endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any government agency. All content is for informational purposes only and should not be used for financial decisions. Unauthorized use is prohibited.